do not like the sunshine, but I do like the sunshine. I just don't like it in my eyes. Hurry up, people. Why is it that people just cannot? Jesus criminy, why is this thing freaking hardly even stepped on it, and it's like, ugh. It's time to go and take my car in for a service. It only has 42,442 miles on it. And it's like, there's just no reason for it to be freaking revving up like that. That was a little ridiculous. That's like twice now that it's done that. God. So I gotta stop and get gas. Because I gotta go to work at dark 30 in the morning. God, what a day. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have your delivery there noon. Famous last words. Noon what? What time zone are we talking about? I'm hoping that you mean noon Pacific time. No, it must be Eastern time because they showed up at 9. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm early? I'm 20 minutes late. Okay, so what happened to noon? What? No. I'm late. I'm like, in what time zone, dude? Really? Really? No. Oh my God. It's like, I know how to tell time. Do you know how to tell time? I wanted to say that so bad. It's like, you know how to tell time, right? It's like, I don't understand. Help me understand this. Just don't get it. It's like, if your customer is putting in an order and they are in the Pacific time zone, your company is in Eastern time zone, Tennessee to be exact, you're putting 3 pallets of product into a reefer and having this dude drive across the country to deliver product that, you know, needs to be kept in the freezer. When it, I don't get it. I'm just so confused. I'm just so confused. How the hell did this day turn into the day from hell? How the hell could it possibly? How could it possibly get any freaking worse? Are you freaking kidding me right now? It's like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just confused. Totally baffled that, okay, company is East Coast. They stick all the product onto a semi truck on these big pallets, and then they drive it across country and dump it off to the various different jails, and it's like, time frame is noon. Can But it does not tell me if that's noon their time or noon my time, because 9 o'clock, and the person, the driver showed up at 9:20, so, and he said he was 20 minutes late. I was like, what? So if it's 9 o'clock here in Washington, over on the East Coast, it's going to be noon-ish, right? So I don't get it, man. I I distinctly recall being in first grade and learning how to tell time on a clock with the big hand and the little hand. So according to my calculations, the big hand and little hand should be on noon, right? On 12. On 9:20. And so then, that was, okay, so that was dumb. Okay, so dumber is, I got 2 brand new trustees today. And the other 2 are fairly new still. And so, Civvy. Where's this? Where does this go? Where does that go? Where does this go? Where does that go? Where does this go? Where does that go? Does this go here? No. Oh my God. So I'm running late getting out because, okay, so that was Dumb and Dumber. So dumbest was walked in, couldn't figure out why we had no water pressure. Interesting. Futzed with the knobs. Nothing. Called down the control. Hey, you guys working on the water? Got the water shut off? Oh yeah. They said that they'll have it back on real soon. I'm like, do we know what real soon means? Because real soon, there's no big hand and little hand on the clock that says real soon. Oh yeah. Well, let me check. Calls back. They just said real soon. All right. I just don't understand. Don't understand. I just, does nobody know how to read a clock anymore? All the while, it's like the squirrel in my head. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. La 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 la. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. La la la. Ran behind all freaking day long. All day long. All day. All day. All day. And it's like, I'm like sending a message to my boss. So the water's shut off, and they don't know. They can't tell me a time frame, except for real soon. So is it safe to say, I just need this confirmed, that since we don't have any water, this means I can't cook anything, and so therefore we have to do sack lunches? Waiting. Finally, I hear the ding go on. Yeah, finally answered. Okay, so I go, oh yeah, I would just, plan for sack lunches. A little while later. Oh, great. Shaver truck just arrived. And yeah, so the one thing that really infuriated me was I was assured that I could have somebody help me go out and stop traffic to guide this truck across 4 lanes with the center lane, right? So it's 5 lanes. Well, technically 4 lanes and a center. Nope. So I asked for help this morning. Oh, well, we can't send inmates out there to do that. But I need help doing this. I have no depth perception. And I don't want to get hit by a car. I'm not certified to go out and stop traffic. Well, so I ended up having to go out and stop traffic. Thinking to myself, you know, I work around inmates all day long. They don't scare me, but being hit by a car for some reason scares the living crap out of me. I'm like, God. So I ended up having to go stand out in the road and guide this. Actually, luckily for me, I didn't have to go very far out into traffic. So, but I've got this freaking headache from hell right now just because of everything that was going on. It's like, oh, F my life, I really don't have the time to make 40 pounds of scratch mashed potatoes. So I'm looking at my Thursday work crew guy that does the baking stuff. I said, you've been in and out of this jail a lot of times. Have you guys ever had baked potatoes before? He's like looking at me like I've got like two heads. I'm like, what is the purpose of your face, man? I don't get it. What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of your face? I'm reading something and I just don't know what to think right now. Are you looking at me because you want to like scoop my brains out with a rusty spoon and eat it, or I don't know. My my former sous chef Raul used to look at me like that whenever I would pose a question to him because I was indecisive at the moment about something, and I was like, "Oh, what do you think about?" And he just looked at me. He had this head tilt, kind of like Dory does whenever I say, and whenever I ask her a question. Whenever I say, "You want to go outside?" and all of a sudden her head just, kind of just, you know, tilts to one side, and she's like looking at me like, "Oh, I don't get it." So anyway, here we are. So he tells me, we've never had so they never had baked potatoes except for on Thanksgiving, and they were little tiny baked potatoes. We got these huge ass baked potatoes that are like, you know, baker potatoes from freaking Chernobyl. I mean, some of the things are freaking huge, so huge that they they are they are like the size of Cindy when we first brought her home. It's like things weighs more than 2 pounds. You know, so like yeah, we could just take the potatoes, we could bake them off. Don't have to wrap them. Just pitch them onto a baking sheet. Throw them in the oven at 425. About an hour and 15 minutes should be enough for these potatoes because this is a convection oven after all. And so what we'll do is we'll just slice it in half, and each person gets a half because these potatoes are so freaking huge. And he's still looking at me like, you know, why are you making me do this sort of look? But you understand, and I try to get them to give me some input, to try to be kind of a free thinking individual, to feel like they're part of the process. Because if they're part of the process, there's some sense of pride in knowing that, you know, you just pulled off this really cool meal that everybody liked. So they could share in that pride, not just be like free labor, right? that's my management style. Nurturing, encouraging, blah blah blah. You know. And so here we are. I swear that that Goodwill looks like it's like closed forever. Every time I pass by here, it looks like the store is closed. I'm gonna have to check the website, see what's going on. So here we are, just in baked potato hell. No sour cream, no cheese, no bacon bits. No, so it's just butter and a sprinkle of parsley. It's better than nothing. I mean, I've totally eliminated the instant mashed potato. It's like I'm not going to spend that kind of money on instant mashed potato when I got basically free labor that can cut the potatoes into pieces and soak them, or wash the potatoes, cut them into pieces, soak them, and then put them into a pan and throw them in the oven and get them cooked off, right? And we just put it, we drain them and throw them in the mixer and add our ingredients, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, we got fresh mashed potato. Costs less, tastes better. We can control all the freaking chemical BS that's in these things. Cut back on the freaking sodium. There's a lot of sodium in that. A lot of sodium in those, and it's like preservative, additive, thickeners that don't need to be in an instant mashed potato. Really? I don't understand. It's one thing if you need instant mashed potatoes in a pinch, like you buy those little, single serving instant that's got a bunch of different flavors. The store has them on sale for like, 10 for like $10, or a buck a piece basically. Of course, nothing's ever a buck anymore. It's like $1.25. But and you're not feeling all that great, and you want something that's quick and easy to throw together, and all you can really think about is I would really like to have some mashed potatoes. I've had days like that when I'm feeling like crap, and mashed potatoes is the only thing that I can really get into me. Because I eat a lot of mashed potatoes, and we keep a couple of those packets around the house. For I'm not feeling well, got the flu, got a bad cold, whatever. Got the munchies at 2 o'clock in the morning. It only takes 30 seconds to put this thing together. I think, I don't know. Don't know how to use a microwave. Woo! Right up on the berm. I hate these ring roads, man. I don't know why the hell they put a ring road out here. I don't know why I'm having problems keeping my cigarette lit. These ones have like some sort of, they're like low temp burning cigarettes, so that if you fall asleep and while smoking a cigarette, it drops on the sofa, it's not going to burn your entire house down, or it's not supposed to anyway. But then it sounds like I'm like a chain smoker, because it's like every 5 minutes or so you're hearing a click, click, click. Yeah, so that's what Mason said, and it's like, no, actually it's the same damn cigarette that I had like 10 miles ago. So yeah, today was just dumb, and that's part and parcel with being in the food industry, or just any kind of job. It's like any kind of job that's fast paced, and things just go cattywampus. But would I recommend this job? Yeah, I would. I would recommend this job. But you got to know your numbers. You got to be able to lead a team. You got to be able to be a leader. But at the same time, you got to, uh, in a corporation like this, somebody's above you. Somebody's going to be above you. So don't have the ego be humble enough to be able to say, okay, I need to learn from you. Please tell me what I could do to be a better manager, to be a better leader, to be able to, maybe someday be in your position or in a similar position, whether it be with this company or the next company. And so there's that. Know when to shut your mouth and open your ears more. And because it's like, you know, my boss has been doing this in this with this company for quite a while. They know the ins and outs better than I do. So it's like if they have constructive criticism, you better believe it. I'm going to be listening. They say, "Hey, we're gonna have a crash course in this. Um, it's up to you if you want to attend this little seminar that we're going to have for the group. You better believe it. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to ask questions, or maybe I might not have any questions. I don't know." And if they say, "Hey, anybody want to get in on some overtime and go and travel and work in one of the other community or one of the other facilities on your day off, um, we could use some help." Be like, "Yeah, as soon as you guys kick off my training wheels, can I come and travel?" They laugh. I was being serious. I was being sincere. Because and it's like my my district guy. So, what does it take to climb the ladder with this company? How can I get to another level of management? And he stops and thinks for a moment, and he tells me, "Well, this is a good start here. And as you go along, you're going to learn more stuff." And the mount's kind of hiding. Dang it. Anyway, so yeah, it's just a matter of just waiting it out, and you have to wait for a position to open up. But there might be a position, elsewhere across the country that opens up, and you might be the best candidate for it. It's nice to know that you are looking at, expanding. And okay, cool. You know, so if later on down the road, when Timmy retires and they've got a position open in on the East Coast, and we feel like moving until I, you know, until I retire, you know, we have that option. But right now, we're staying in Washington. I don't know. I keep saying, I want to move out of this damn this godforsaken state, and I've said it for years, off and on. But the reality is, I think I'll probably end up dying here because This is my home state. This is where I was born and raised. Born and raised in Seattle. Lived in or around Seattle, in one of the surrounding areas of Seattle, all my life. I love it here, but I don't love it here. I guess everybody kind of feels that way about, where they live. It's like, that my cousins that live in Hawaii, I remember how they used to complain and complain and complain and bitch about how expensive food is there in Hawaii. And I remember this very vividly because I remember having to corral them through the Pike Place Market on a weekend. And I'm not just talking, maybe 2, 3, 4 cousins. I'm talking about freaking three generations of this family, more than a dozen of them, all descended upon Washington State for my other cousin moving to Seattle to attend Seattle University, and then when she graduated from college, and again when she had gotten married, they were here for that, so on and so forth. It's like every opportunity that they get, they love to come to Seattle. They absolutely love it here, and they tell me all about the bad things about living in Hawaii. We can't even get tomatoes fresh. They don't even grow there. I can't get this. Those don't grow there. The bugs get them. You know. So, but they go home. They go back home, and it's like everything's fine. You try keeping an eye on a dozen of your family members at Pike Place Market sometime. Oh God, that was just hilarious. Kept losing my auntie, who at the time was in her very late 80s or so, maybe older than that. Little teeny tiny woman, very very long hair, longer than mine even, and she was like so tiny, and she would sit on a mat on the floor, and she'd be smoking a cigar while knitting or crocheting, and she'd be asleep. She'd be crocheting, smoking a cigar, and crocheting and sleeping on a mat in my basement. It was kind of fascinating. So I think she died at, I want to say that she died at like 104 years of age or something like that. I'll have to look. To be honest, who really knows if her birth date is even correct, because when you look at my dad's wallet, it's like he's got 4 different birthdays, 4 different birth years. A patriotic person. He loved the United States. He loved being here. He served in World War II. He was taken prisoner. He was POW in Romania. And um, prisoner of war. When he came back to the United States, or came to the United States, he was granted citizenship, and he had a wife at the time. Her name was Leda, and there's actually a book that was written about this area in Mississippi. This is where my dad ended up after his time in the war. He ended up in Mississippi, and it's like, God, how many wives did my husband or did my father have? How many? I mean, it's like, and then you know, and then digging around a little bit more, it's like, at one point he had a teenage wife that they ran away and got married to one another here in Washington State from Stockton, California. So he made his way across the United States to a more liberal state so that he would not be would no longer be subjected to the racism that happened. Um, Come to think of it, when he got back from the war, um, found out that his wife Lyda, um, their their marriage had been invalidated because she was a white woman. But apparently I've got some half siblings I've never met that are considerably older than I am, because it's like, when you look at how old my father was when I was born, he was 61 when I was born. I mean, he was a player. Oh my God, he was a player. Really, 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 really fascinating character. And a great storyteller. And so he ended up in Washington State. Married a girl by the name of Hazel Fletcher. That marriage got invalidated because he was arrested and was going to be charged for kidnapping, because it turned out that this girl was actually a child and lied about her age. And the father of this stated that he would not press charges if he would just return his daughter to him and have the marriage invalidated. So that's what happened. So back to Stockton, California, that girl went. My dad stayed in Washington State. And he had a cafe in Pike Place Market. A little dumpy little diner that had maybe 6 bar stools and maybe 3 tables. It was just a dumpy little place. And yeah, but he was my dad. He was just cool. He had this way about him. A little mischievous. I remember whenever he would get pulled over for speeding, um, he would pretend to not speak English, would frustrate the living hell out of the officer, and the officer would just say, "You know what, just never mind, just go." It was pretty funny. He actually spoke English, but he had a very thick accent. Barely understand a word he said half the time. But one of the things that used to frighten the living hell out of me about him was that whenever he never yelled at me, except for the one time when I kicked a soccer ball through the garage window, kicking a soccer ball against the side of the house, split level house. It ended up going through the window, and but his way of, you know, being mad at me was he would lean in and whisper to the point where he was barely audible, and he would talk very slow and methodically, very, very quietly, so quiet that he was almost silent. So you had to strain to hear every single syllable that he spoke. And oh, Timmy, I have to stop for gas on the way home, so he's gonna find out anyway because he's gonna see me pull into the gas station. Hopefully, the gas isn't like $50 a gallon. It's $4.68 here at the Chevron. I'm hoping it's cheaper down here at the other one. God, I can't freaking see. $4.39 at the 76. Just love traveling into the sun. Just love traveling into the sun. In cars, they just decided they're just going to pull out in front of you. It's like, really? I want to get home safely too, but I can't if you're going to be driving like an asshat. So yeah, that's how my dad handled his business. It's rather frightening to a young child, though. And the more upset and pissed off he was, the thicker his accent was. Where's the freaking driveway? Where's the freaking driveway? I want to drive into the ditch. Let's see. People do this. Just go to the other side. Fucking dick. Where are you going? Do not pull up. Oh my god, are you freaking kidding me? Fuck you. You're a dick. Oh, and then he pulls all the way forward. What an ass. Alright, let's see if I can swing it in here. I hate it when people do this. They just don't park their car right. Yeah, I see you. Alright, I need to get gas. Let's see. My regular glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. Let's see. Cancel. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? $4.39 a gallon for regular, for 87. I remember being a driver and thinking that 82 cents a gallon was expensive. I know, Timmy. I know you're gonna say. I remember when it was brand new. Gasoline powered cars were just being invented. I don't know. 17 cents. Okay, yeah, 17 cents. I would like to finish my cigarette. Still the same cigarette since cat, so yay. So it is a beautiful evening. Current temperature is 59 degrees. It is just 2 minutes shy of 8 p.m. I think it's going to be another beautiful day tomorrow just based on the color of the sky. It is gorgeous. It's a beautiful day today. I can't believe that guy freaking parking at the pump where I was trying to stick my car. He wasn't even getting gas. There were at least 10 parking spots that he could have parked in along the side of the building. Not the front, but the side. At least 10 parking spots. Could have parked over there. No, he had to park in front of the pump. It's like, really? People are so inconsiderate. So entitled. Don't take up a space in front of the gas pumps at one of the busiest gas stations in the area if you're not going to get gas. That's all I have to say. Jacked on. Alright, so we're coming in to Burnett. So I know for a fact I'm going to lose you at the same spot. So I'm going to say my goodbyes right now. Thank you, Munchie Mafia, for coming and hanging out. Sorry about the disconnects. We're going to try to get this revenue